Hey everybody, it is Thursday. It means it's time for your Thursday Thought, and I thought I'd do a quick video about 3 pros and cons to buying and or selling in the holiday season, which is almost upon us. You'll quickly realize that some of the pros for sellers become cons for buyers and vice versa, but we will run through them here just to give you a little food for thought if you're considering making any type of home purchase or sale during this holiday season. So for sellers, talk about the pros first. Very often, buyers have more time during the holiday season because of the days off associated with to be out there looking at homes. And so there's a good opportunity for your home to have some more exposure and more foot traffic during the holiday season. Historically speaking, a lot of job transitions happen in the January, February timeframe as companies set their budget and look for those people to hire in the upcoming year, which necessitates a lot of people moving in December or early January to be prepared for when their new job starts. So you kind of have that macroeconomic thing working for you in your favor as a seller. And also, historically speaking, there are fewer listings in the December timeframe, so that means there's less competition for you on the market, fewer selections for buyers, and hopefully that would indicate that you would be able to get a few extra bucks for your house. Now let's flip to the cons for sellers. This is one that goes along with buyers as well. There is the time, the stress, and the money involved in buying a house during the holiday season. It's typically a busy time of year for all of us, and to add that extra hours every week to be dedicated to selling your home, and then also risking maybe potentially the displacement or something along those lines during the holiday season, which is why a lot of people choose not to buy or sell real estate during this last 5 weeks of the year. So that's a reality that we all kind of have to face. Secondarily, no one really likes moving in winter, so that's again a con that both buyers and sellers are going to face. But even if we were to sell your home and secure you a post occupancy where you'd be moving after the holiday season in the middle of January or something, you're still moving in that winter time frame, which is never fun. And the third one is also kind of obvious, and that is that, like we talked about, buyers and sellers do tend to pause their home buying selling process during those last 5 weeks. So there's potentially less buyers out there looking around, but that's not always the case. So switching to the buyer side, let's look at the pros for buying in the holiday season for if you're a buyer. Kind of like we were talking about, you have more time. I mean, you have time, you have days off around Thanksgiving, you have days off around Thanksgiving, and Christmas time frame, and you're probably have a little more flexibility to the house hunting search and to make some of those good decisions. Again, there's probably a few less buyers out there, so there's probably a little less competition for you in that market. And in this market, the less competition, obviously, the better. Next one for buyers, there's a money-saving aspect to buying in these last 2 months of the year in two different ways. While interest rates are kind of all over the place and we've been at such historical lows I feel like for a long time now, that the difference can be marginal. But this last quarter of the year, interest rates, I looked earlier today, of the past 5 years or 5 or 6 years, the interest rates in the last quarter of the year are lower than the interest rates in the spring and summer, except for 2018, where we saw a little bit of an interest rate hike. Usually, half a point or quarter of a point. We're not talking huge amounts of money, but huge amounts of difference in the interest rate. But over the course of your loan, that's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And then taxes are prorated, and so when the seller owns the house for that period, you're going to have a credit on your settlement statement, which, depending on the tax rate of the property, could potentially be $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 as a credit that the seller is going to be giving you to pay for the taxes that they had paying from January 1st, 2021 up until our closing of middle of December 2021. The sellers to pay for and give you a credit on your settlement statement, which just means that you're going to be bringing less of that money towards closing when you're already putting out tons of money to close the deal, saving even $1,500 or $2,000 can be pretty significant. All right, so let's go to the cons for the buyers. Kind of a lot of them line up with the sellers is time, stress, and money, right? You were in the holiday season and you are in this process of buying a home. There's time involved in that, there's stress involved with that, and there's usually the outlay of quite a bit of money when you are purchasing a home. Kind of like we talked about, is a lot of sellers don't list, so there's less selection for you as a buyer out there in the holiday season, but hopefully that also means that there's less competition with other buyers. And then the third one is kind of right along with sellers, is that we'll be making a move in the December or January timeframe, and no one likes to move in winter. So some of those cons definitely line up with both buyers and sellers, and obviously the pros for sellers become cons for buyers, and then vice versa. I've been doing this 10 years now, and I've realized that there isn't really ever an ideal time to buy or an ideal time to sell your house. But there are pros and cons to each and every season. And so maybe this holiday season is your season that you're looking to buy or sell. If I can be of assistance in any way, shape, or form, please let me know. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Thursday Thought. And we'll catch you next week on next week's Thursday Thought. Ciao.